What is it with you? What do you got, a death wish or something?
That's what it takes. I just want to race.
All right, Dieselheads, it's episode 37 of the Chronicles of Diesel, the only show that covers everything Vin Diesel. My name is Ethan, and with me here to get Groot and dirty is Devin.
Are you my Groot?
Wow.
It's not a quote.
That's the first episode's title.
Yeah.
Folks, you lived the battle, we lived the war. The season, the summer, the year of Groot continues and continues. What once we thought was a string of episodes we would leave behind us has now resurfaced back with I Am Groot Season 2. That's right. That's today's topic on the Chronicles of Diesel. Hey, we're back. It's been a while.
Can I just say, can you really call it a season when it's two-minute thing? Like,
it's a drop. You know what I mean? It's a
drop. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's a drop.
But you know how TV works. People need to have categorize of
because they could have just added this to season 1
and
been like, there's more episodes.
They could drop these once every 2 months, but
yeah,
we are not the target audience. The target audience does not know what a season is. They just see colors and they're like, yay, and then they smile. You know what I mean?
They hear Groot and their eyes glow.
But we haven't had an episode of this in a long time because we haven't needed to have an episode of this in a long time. Fast X was our last one, correct? Yeah.
And that was in May.
May. Yeah.
Feels longer than that, doesn't it? I mean, May was a long time
ago. Yeah.
But it does feel like a year. I feel like I'm a completely different man, just...
Yeah. Maybe
I'm weathered.
We don't know when the next Vin Diesel thing is, so we want to, at the very least, who knows if we will have the time to do it. We want to record a couple special episodes, one every now and then. That's more of like a cool topic we can discuss for everyone here.
Well, but, I have a topic idea.
Really?
Kind of.
Just go ahead and say it.
Well, I was going to say this is kind of attached when I was looking up for Vin News Network. We're not doing a huge episode because there has been a lot of Instagram posts, and that's where we get most of our information. But there really hasn't been any big news outside of after Fast X. But when I was looking, I did find a Vin Diesel fan account, and this fan account has they're on Instagram at the Vin Diesel Gallery. 153K followers. That's a lot of followers. And it says Vin Diesel. And it says official fangirl. And then they have a highlight from an old story that says thank you for 1K follows, which was 146 weeks ago. So they've been in the game for a fucking while, folks. Wow. 825 posts.
That's only almost as many 50 episodes as our other podcast, the Sonic Movie Show, has.
So my topic idea is... I already know the answer is no, but my idea is we try to reach out to some other Vin heads out there, see what they have to say. Do they agree with our rankings? What's their favorite Vin Diesel film? We could also just look at other Vin Diesel fans are doing, but I was it just had an epiphany, and I was like,
we'll see if people want to comment on our rankings. I feel like in post now, a couple of years in, we don't even like our own rankings. So I know. We've joked about redoing it without needing to really watch them. But maybe that's a special episode. We'll revisit our ranking and
we can always really tier them, which is what we could have done.
I think that's what we wanted to do, right? I think that was what we want to do. Scrap the list and make a tier. I think we even joked one of the tiers will just be the video games, so that we don't need to really throw them in.
Or music video. Just one.
And theme park ride.
Singular.
But not on the basis of a theme park ride, just on the parts where Vin Diesel is on a screen talking.
Yeah. No, I'm mostly joking, but I just found this. I thought it was funny. It's at the Vin Diesel Gallery. Some of the pictures are so goofy.
You have two of them here. You have Fast 39, Speed Never Retires. This was 100% an AI-generated image.
Yes, this isn't real. And I love the one with The Rock staring his eyes are just so dilated here. It makes me think he's on the marijuana, folks, and it's just staring into my soul. Like it's one of those, you know those paintings where where you move, it looks like they're looking at you.
Yeah,
The Rock did this perfectly. Like he just knocked that out of the park. No matter where I move, and for the audio listeners, I am moving.
He's moving a couple inches on your screen, folks.
And it still looks like he's staring at me.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I like Tyrese's
he's
how
having
did
the
I
best
get
time
your
out
face? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if you were saying something. I was going to jump into VNN.
Go for it. I forgot what I was going to say anyway.
Yeah, so we finally did it, folks. Vin Diesel's Instagram has hit 100 million followers.
Really?
We've been following this for 2.5 years. I don't know when it happened, but it happened in the last, I think, month or so. 101 million followers he's currently at. When we started this, I think it was at, 70 million? Let me look at the, I'll have to look at the thing again, but was it 60 million?
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe 80. I don't know.
I'll
Less
have to
than
look at my
90,
notes.
above 50.
And look at my notes. Hold on 1 second, folks. But yeah, he's done a lot of posts, but not as much as because after a movie comes out, he usually kind of dies down a little bit on his posts. He's done he's done a post about like D&D. He says with school starting up, he's like, he made a pun about classes, like going to classes, choosing a class. It's always funny that like since we play D&D, and then since Vin Diesel does, and we watched him with D and Diesel. If there was some weird opportunity, I would love to play a session with him because it would just be so.
I would love for him to DM.
Goofy. I
Just
want him to
figure it out.
DM. Yeah. So that's a big thing. Yeah, 65.9 million followers was when I started following this. So that's he gained 40 million followers in like 3 years. That's incredible.
That's the power
growth.
of this podcast, folks.
Yeah,
you and I did it together.
They didn't follow us. They followed Vin Diesel, which
But the
he
call
is,
to action was to make that number get to 100 million. So
right.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
We will definitely take the sacrifice. Don't bother following us at Sonic Movie Show up there on Twitter and all those places. Follow Vin Diesel on Instagram and Twitter.
He does have a Facebook, I think, but he doesn't really post on there.
Same with his Twitter.
And Twitter only posts when there's promotion for the new Fast and Furious movie. But yeah, he's did some posts. His usual stuff. He did do one post for Paul Walker because it would have been his 40th birthday, so he did a nice little tribute post about him and talking about like I think I mentioned that he's mentioned this story before about like how Paul Walker went to Haiti after the 2010 earthquake there, and he was helping out with relief efforts, which is pretty cool. So he's just been a post about that, and he says that if Paul Walker was still around today, he probably would be helping in Maui and Morocco and whatnot. And it was a good little thing there. But other than that, he hasn't really posted too much updates otherwise about any projects he's working on. I mean, he's
kind of said the similar. Are far out.
Yeah, I mean, he's done pictures of his Witch Hunter, in the past, and he keeps saying he's working on it. So I'm assuming we'll get that eventually. I just don't know when. And I feel like when we know this too, that I think since he owns a lot of his properties too, that like if he wants to get something done, he'll get it done. So I trust him that we'll get another Witch Hunter, whether it's a streaming movie or whatever it is.
Some bean counter somewhere will realize they can make minimum X amount if they, make a Witch Hunter 2 and that type of stuff.
Yeah. And I think we'll get that maybe after. I think we'll get a Riddick thing first before we get, because I know that he's talking about that the script's been being worked on for a while.
Yeah, for Furia.
Yeah, and I think we'll get that. I don't know if we'll get that obviously like next year or anything like that, but
because like the I think it's presumed between Fast X and the next And the sequel to Fast X will be The Rock's, movie, which presumably won't have Vin Diesel in it. So that pushes Fast 11 out more than 2 years from Fast X, right? I feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we would.
What I was gonna say is that like after the Fast and Furious, at least for Vin Diesel is done. I mean, I know he's joked about. I'm assuming he was joking about doing a Toretto show, which I'm like, wouldn't that just be Fast and Furious? Unless they did like a sitcom kind of thing, which would be and put it on fucking Hulu, then maybe I could see that. But a movie, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess it would be on Paramount Plus, I'm sure, or something like that. But I digress. There really isn't too much news, which to me I think is kind of a good thing, because when Vin Diesel doesn't post as much, I feel like that's when he's working on things, and then randomly we'll get like, "Yup, Groot season 2 is here." He also hasn't been posting much because I think also I don't know if he's in the union. I'm assuming he would be.
Oh,
he hasn't really posted about it.
Yep.
He's not required to, but he hasn't been posting about movies either, so that might be part of the reason he hasn't posted.
I think you're right.
So I think that's part of it as well. So at least he's not, scabbing out here. So,
yep,
that's another thing too that might delay any other Fast and Furious anything. Anyways,
yeah, but I mean, it's all worth it in the end. The show is taking a stance. Well, not this show, the Sonic movie show, but us have taken a stand of like, yeah, we're totally fine not having to watch Gran Turismo based on a true story in theaters, for review. And we're fine, not having a Fast 11 be as early as possible if it means people can actually have the job support them and their families. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, there was one
not that
news.
This job of the Chronicles of Diesel supports me and my family. You know what I mean? So maybe you and I should go on podcasting strikes.
Podcasting strikes and
We
demand
will
that
not
Libsyn
talk
pay us
until you subscribe and hit the
until you
like
subscribe
and retweet the TikTok on Instagram,
reshare or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
There actually was one news item I almost forgot because I had it in another tab. This you'll find interesting.
Okay.
So this actor said in a recent interview at the Telegraph that Vin Diesel said, "No, I do not want him." That's right, folks. One of the most famous, if not the most famous actor on this planet, action hero, Jean-Claude Van Damme, wanted to be in the Fast and Furious franchise, and Vin Diesel said, supposedly, "No, I don't want him." How do we feel about this?
The phrasing is he was wanted to be in Fast and Furious.
So yeah. Sorry. Here, I'll read the full. This is from the AV Club. I'm just gonna read it from verbatim. That's what Van Damme said in a recent interview with the Telegraph, at least noting that they wanted him in a Fast and Furious movie, but then Vin Diesel apparently said, "No, I don't want him,"
which is sad.
So,
do
we believe that? First, do we believe this though? I think that's because
I will say this: having followed Van Damme on Twitter for a few years now, he is someone that does remind me of a Vin Diesel, ironically, in terms of like he won't lie, but he might embellish or go with what fans say or fans would want, and like be like, yeah, they wanted me in Fast and Furious, but that might be an embellishment. It might just be as simply as his name came up, or his there was a cast roll call and his agent suggested it for it might be something like that. And
there was 20 action hero actors that were reached out to. Maybe the producers reached out. They don't ask Vin Diesel first. They reach out, and then they probably get a list of 5 people who said, "Yeah, I'll do it," and then Vin Diesel just picks one. You know what I mean? It might have just been
producer.
Yeah. So like that's how I would imagine it would go. But also like we've never.
He would be interesting in it. He would definitely not be a bad guy. He'd be a good guy. And I mean, like, if you want the performance of a lifetime, this is probably awful to say because this man's probably in a much healthier and better life now, and this is not something that'd be good for him. But I'm just going to point this out. His role as Guile in Street Fighter the movie would not be as good if he was not on cocaine. If he was on cocaine, that speech he makes is amplified by that fact. No, he should not be on cocaine.
Here's
but I want that energy.
Here's my I don't
follow
Jean-Claude Van Damme that much. But like one of the things that I sometimes get to is, like you said, kind of maybe embellishing the truth a little bit, or making it seem like he is not wanted. I guess was like my theory is it was just he was asked by producers, he said yes, and then Vin Diesel said, "Hey, we're going with someone else." Probably is what happened. To me, this reminds me of like the Predator situation, where he was supposed to be in the original The Predator. He was supposed to be in it as the Predator, the beast. And he didn't realize that he was invisible for most of the film. And he was wearing, they originally had a whole, like, if you look it up, like the original Predator suit that he was in looks nothing like what the Predator does now. It's pretty interesting. It's a very much a what could have been if they run up rolling with that. But I guess he complained a bunch on set and was mad that he was invisible. Why was he wearing all this stuff? All these, like, just complaining that they basically said, "You're done. We're going to scrap it and go a different direction," is my understanding of it. And then I know from what I've heard from him is that, like, oh no, they just didn't want, they were trying to, like, not have me be part of the main cast, like all that kind of stuff. So, like,
yeah.
I think it's one of those situations where, like, I get it. Like, I'd be salty too of, like, I had an opportunity to be in one of the biggest, like, 80s blockbusters of all time, and then for whatever reason I'm not in it now, and I maybe fucked up there. You know what I mean? And
he is kind of a meme
at our worst too. So, like,
we think of ourselves differently than how others perceive us. You know what I mean? He might have been a prima donna and not realized it. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah. But then there's Street Fighter, and, like, obviously that movie's more of a meme, and he's kind of seen as a meme, and so I think that maybe that's part of it, is he's saying this because, I think he thinks he's, and rightfully so, I think, to a degree, like, you talk your shit like you are an actor, and I think he probably just feels maybe shafted that he's like, oh, I can't be in one of one of the biggest action franchises right now. Like, I deserve to be in it. So, but we don't know him.
All of his tweets end with hashtag Jean-Claude Van Damme, hashtag JCVD. No one's using those hashtags. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just, he just does them, Yeah.
So, I mean, I respect it, though, to a degree.
I love him. He's great. You know what I mean? I want him in things.
Yeah. So I would, with all that said, I definitely would not be at this point, Fast and Furious, I do not give a shit what they really do.
We do risk running into Expendables territory where it's like, here's all of your guys, and it's like, and the movie sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't want it to be that.
I get
it. Cool whenever John Wick has, like, oh wow, she's in this movie, oh what, he's in this movie, and it's not like all of your 80s bros are or flexing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and what's your story? You know what I mean? We gotta save this girl from South America. Oh, thank you.
I read, did you know in, not to go on, sorry, we're going on a tangent here, but
it's an I Am Groot episode. Who gives a shit? Go on.
Yeah.
Because we're recap these in 3 seconds.
We need to make this episode longer than the actual things that we watch.
It's already longer.
That's true. So Jason Statham, who's one of the main characters in the Expendable movies, I didn't realize that. I think in the second one, dude almost died on the set.
Really?
He was driving a Jeep in one scene, like on a cliffside, and he actually did. It went like 30 feet off the cliff into the water upside down. But since since he's since Jason Statham is used to be like an Olympic almost level swimmer when he was younger, he was able to swim out successfully and was just suffered from some bruises and stuff. But they said they don't know if it was anyone else, if they would survive that. And that's why in the Meg 2, he does his own stunts because he's really good at swimming and was one of the best in his
Meg.
Yeah. I also I went down. I found this out because I went down a rabbit hole of Jason Statham after I watched the second Meg movie. I'm like, how did this guy get his career started? All that kind of stuff. And like, dude used to be like, at one point he was like a street vendor, kind of like, but like one of those ones that like put shit on your wrist, be like, you're paying for this kind of one. So like because his family was kind of poor growing up, and then he became really good at swimming, so he was considering that. But then somehow he got into doing like, he's in a bunch of like music videos for like a bunch of like dance music in the early 90s. And if you find him there, it's crazy. Like some of them are like, he's definitely supposed to be like the sex appeal in the music video. Okay. Yeah. So, and then that's how I got down that rabbit hole. Then eventually I forget what he got. He got
his
some
lowest
role
point was being in those Uwe Boll films. And
yes. Yeah, but
his highest point is obviously as Deckard Shaw.
Yeah.
In our mind.
Yeah, but then I was like looking down his career. So one of these days I might watch some of his movies because I've always heard
I've never seen the Transporter.
Things about
that's the one.
Crank I've heard is low key like crazy in a good way. But yeah, just random tangent. But I'm like, yeah, dude almost died on the set doing those movies. So
depending on
at least I'll give him credit for that.
Maybe we'll do a Statham podcast. Who knows? We always joke, we're like, what actor would we do after this? And the answer is no one. Because this is a big commitment as it of itself. I know Michelle Rodriguez is high up there because it's all.
We've already
family,
knocked out half of them.
We would have to rewatch them to be fair.
I'm saying when we watched, like, how many have we watched just indirectly? We're like, oh shit, she's in this.
Resident Evil 1 and 6.
Blood Rain.
Yeah. And obviously all the Fast and Furious films.
And then I've seen like D&D, Dungeons and Dragons that she was in. Yeah. There's other ones I'm missing.
2? Was she in Alien vs. Predator 1 or 2?
I don't think so.
Or someone
I remember.
That's one of those things where like I remember some woman who in my recollection brain looked like her talked to the Predator at the end of one of those movies while the alien queen is burning or something, and she says, I hope it kills every last fucking one of them. And my mom made me stop watching because she swore. And for whatever reason, I'm like, that was her. And I haven't touched that movie since. And I love Alien, and I haven't watched it.
She was in Alita Battle Angel, too. That's right.
What?
Uncredited, I guess. Maybe she was a cameo. But I remember hearing about that. I'm trying to think what else. Guess she's in the Machete movies too.
Oh yeah.
Blood Rain.
Anyway,
Halo 2. Okay.
That's right. She was in a few video games. Because we looked at this like recently. Looked at her IMDb. We were like, oh, what if we did this? Maybe it was me just mainly doing it and sending you. Yeah, she was in Halo 2. She was in a few video games.
Lost.
Yeah, she was in Lost. That's right.
So we'd have to watch just those episodes.
Just those episodes, yeah. I mean, that would be
27
fun.
of them.
I found them in my pile on my computer. I mean,
my computer. I would low key be down to do like. Once again, so much time though. Like, once again, if the show was like making bank, okay, folks, we could do this full time.
You can make that happen by at least subscribing, please.
You can send us $5 million right now, and you will be good for the next 3 years at least.
I mean, yeah, we could definitely quit our jobs, or at least down to part-time.
$5 million, yeah.
I mean,
$5 million.
Well, okay, you can't like.
If we lose that $5 million, then that's on us.
True. My point being is that like if you and I got $5 million to split, that's 2.5 each. We couldn't just retire and not do anything for the rest of our lives.
Million ain't what it used to be, folks. No. I mean, it's still good. I would take $1 million right now, but
I pay $1 million plus taxes
money
every year. You know what I mean? Like it's not enough. No, we could at least quit our jobs and do something part time for a while, need be, just to make sure that there's something. But
I was gonna say we do a Lost rewatch. I've always wanted to do I know we talked about the Survivor as well. We wanted to do like one season of a Survivor, like a random Survivor, like the first one or something.
I think we had decided the first season that we were like, man, watching the Avatar show for an episode
is tough.
It's a fun show, but like it's a commitment. You still have my Blu-rays. I literally bought those on Amazon, and the day I got them, I handed them to you. So I mean, it is what it is. One day you'll watch them. You'll finish, right? I'm okay, but because I also found them in my pile nearby my computer. Anyway, I Am Groot season 2. We call this season 2 because there was a season 1. I guess officially for the sake of titling this episode, and our eventual rankings and all that, we should just call it I Am Groot season 2, and the other one is just called I Am Groot. I think that's the only way because that's how it's presented to us. You know what I mean? Yeah. There are a total of 5 of these episodes. There were 5 in the previous. Each of them are like 5 minutes or less.
I think they're all 2.5 minutes. If or at least
I think actually most of
with
them are
the
under
credits,
4.
With the 35-second credits front and back, like
and the 7-second intro.
Yeah, definitely pretty short.
Yeah. Yeah. So any case, I Am Groot season 2. Do
you want to just go through them individually, say what happened, and say our thoughts, liked it, didn't like it, and then
let me point this out here too. Don't release another season of this unless you're going to put it next to a Vin Diesel movie, so we can double up on what we double cover.
Up. Yeah,
because this truly shouldn't be its own episode. That's why you're getting Jason Statham hour. Episode 1 of I Am Groot season 2 was called "Are You My Groot?" I did not have episode titles because I just had files on my computer, and I assumed that they were in the right order. And reading this list here, I'm like, yes, they were in the right order. Thank you, PB. Are You My Groot? So all of these, by the way, written and directed, and like the overall person behind this is the same as the first season. Kirsten Lepore.
Makes me think that they had a plan to do 10, and then they were just like, let's make 5, and then like we have 5 other ones written already, that if these are however they're measuring success for it, then we'll be quickly to pop them in. Because I feel like
I would be curious, but I feel like this is a thing where they actually do 20 all at once, and then they're just spacing them out. Because it's content drops for Disney Plus. Right. Or, at least that would be the cheapest way to do it, because how small are these?
But the thing is I Am Groot though moving the needle to be like, shit, we got 5,000 extra subscribers because we dropped I Am Groot.
I think it's one of these things where it's not about new subscribers, it's about keeping subscribers. Families with kids, I don't get it. I don't understand these shorts that aren't like, hey, it's a thing before a movie. Like Pixar always used to do these. Maybe they still do. Yeah. I don't know. Like that's one thing. And like, oh yeah, here's your shorts collection on DVD or VHS. But like on its own, I don't get it. But like on these streaming platforms, they get lots of views because kids just like looping them. Like YouTube videos, they like looping them. So like I look at this as more of a cheap additional thing for an overall strategy to have Disney Plus on the television at the family's home on as often as so
it's
so
safer
that it
than,
would be bad to get rid of it.
It's safer too than like it's safer than like YouTube too, where like all of a sudden your kid's watching PragerU videos. You know what I mean? Like
or pregnant Elsa Spider-Man videos.
Yeah, right. So I get that. Yeah, that makes kind of sense. But I feel like there's not like a good way to loop it though. Like I know that auto plays, but does it just? I feel like after I got to the last one, it was like, do you want to watch Avengers Endgame?
I can right click and hit loop. But
for me, it was just like I think after the last one, it just recommended Avengers Endgame.
The longest one of these. Yeah.
You liked. Hey, we saw that you liked
2 minutes. How's 130 times that? You excited?
It's like eating an
4 hours. Never mind.
It's like trying it's like trying go to ice cream shop and you like, I want to try this one. You try it. You're like, okay, good. Well, you can get a whole gallon if you want to take home.
You don't need to eat the whole thing.
You don't need to. Same thing.
Random thought. Fuck it. You're half an hour into an episode about Groot. And his antics. I saw on Twitter this cute drawing of the Pokemon Sun and Moon starter Pokemon Rowlet, the grass owl Pokemon. It's like a little comic where it's like bam, 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 down. And this little Pokemon has this ice cream cone with all these scoops of ice cream, and he's walking, trips on a rock, and all the ice cream falls down. That's how it ends. I'm like, why would you draw this? He's sad. It just ends that way. Why would you draw this?
Because that's life, baby. That's how it is.
But it's
a representation of real life.
Oh, yeah, 7 scoops of ice cream.
And you dropped it. You fumbled.
God. Yeah, no, I was always so scared as a kid of dropping my 1 scoop of ice cream that I would never allow.
I don't really do cone anymore. I'm a cup guy. I don't want to mess around with that anymore. I don't get my hands sticky.
The big waffle cone. I like it. I literally go to the store and I buy.
Nothing stressed me out more is when it starts to drip on my hand, and on my hand, I don't like my hands being sticky.
Get that tongue going, boy.
I know, and then I'm like,
going around those
I'm not even enjoying it. It's like a time thing now.
Well, guess what? Survival isn't about enjoying. It's about shoving that food down because you don't know when the next hunter. There are wild animals, these mammals, these rhinoceroses, these elephants who give birth, and that animal, that baby, better get the fuck up and start running because there's a lion around in the background. You know what I mean? You gotta eat. I Am Groot, Season 1, Season 2, Episode 1, Are You My Groot? Basically, Groot finds a little bird, and he's like, I'll take care of it. And then the bird shits and has a mom, and that's it.
And it shits like weird, like jello-y,
because it's an alien,
slimy substance.
Also,
which is grosser than actual shit, I think,
for sure. I might be wrong. Also, it's shitting more than its body weight, which is also not good.
That's very unhealthy.
But it's intergalactic birds. This is a cheap affair. These are short mini episodes. They're on a lower budget, presumably. You cut costs as much as you can, and a lot of things, you know what I mean? Your panning background of the mountainscape, they probably are not 3D objects. They are probably billboards. I'm pretty sure that poop was flat billboard object, animated object, and not a 3D thing. I noticed that. I might be wrong. Maybe I am. But like I saw that, I'm like, oh, I'm starting to learn a little bit about how to make movies. Maybe I will be Groot for Season 3. Giant bird at the end.
That bird reminds me of one of the most popular movies in the last 25 years, the Jimmy Neutron
Happy
movie.
Feet. Oh.
With the space chicken. You know what I mean?
At
had a similar build. Similar build. I don't think it looks exactly like it, but it just reminded me of that. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that movie in theaters. What a time. We had to be there.
I think I did too, or I rented it, and was shocked to discover they were making a show about that movie. In hindsight, I'm pretty sure that was always the plan, because Nickelodeon actually does that, where they'll make a movie to promote a show that they're about to do on a lower animation budget. And I was always weirded, like, wow, I forget what her name is, but the blonde girl that's always in their crew of like 4, her hairstyle changed from the movie to the TV show. And I'm pretty sure it's because it's easier to animate a ponytail than 2 pigtails. Because that was, you remember what you remember, and obviously all the Carl, croissant
Actually,
memes
I'm gonna look it up.
It's a lower looking visual affair than what you remember that show. Any of those 3D ones, even 3D shows nowadays, don't really look all that great. But
Big Chicken. Let me see a photo of it. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Oh no, it kind of has a similar. I mean, it's bird-like.
It's just a giant bird with a big belly.
There's literally a YouTube clip where it just says that's a big chicken. That's Jimmy Neutron saying it about it.
Remember in that movie where Sheen, whose name is spelled Sheen,
I know, it always
is
throws me
peeing
out.
in the shower, and this isn't a part of a montage because there's no parents around, and apparently you're not allowed to pee in the shower. I always did. Aim at the drain so you don't step in it. As long as your drain's not clogged and there's not water backed up, who cares? But parents
this is a
don't
pro
like
peeing
that.
in the shower podcast.
It's pro peeing in the shower. He's like, I'm peeing in the shower. And then we get a montage of other kids doing things that their parents would never allow them to do. We come back to Sheen. He's like, I'm still doing it. Both hands up. Go, go, go. I always remember that and laughing. But then also thinking, like, he's peeing a very long time. I don't pee that long.
He was holding it. He was so excited.
Yeah, apparently. And it probably smells bad like a nose. The second episode of I Am Groot Season 2 is called Groot Noses Around.
Mm-hmm.
In this episode, he's living his gamer life, and, he basically gets a nose stuck to his face, and then now he smells everything and he's excited because he's searching for a battery because his Xbox controller died.
Yeah, he didn't. He made the mistake of not getting wired. For that. That's on him, honestly.
I go back and forth. I think it's hilarious that an Xbox controller still is AA only, and there's no way to charge it out of the box. It's an extra purchase to buy the rechargeable pack. But when that pack dies, you can just replace it. It's fine. My PS5 controller, I have to tear the thing open and then buy an expensive, lithium battery to put in it and hope it works. So
freaking PS5, that's the worst part of it has been the freaking controllers, man. Every 2 hours it feels like I gotta charge those things.
Hey, we both have two at the very least.
But they do that because they're like, go buy a second one so you can just switch it. Like it's all fucking game.
I got the official stand where they're kind of cradled in there, but there's only enough room for two. So if you have 4 of them, you need to buy 2 of the cradles. Anyway,
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say,
a hater. I think it's funny that they still in the year of our Lord 2023 still require AA batteries, but it's more preservationist. You're saving.
You should make a controller that you can be able to charge with sunlight, so that way you can knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. You're charging your controller and you're finally touching grass. Yeah.
Yeah. Groot chooses at the end of this episode to not touch grass as he I saw this joke coming, and I'm not proud. I'm not going to say I'm smart. I just knew this joke was coming. He comes into his gamer den, and he's appalled by the smell of it all. And then he sees the broom, and I'm like, he's just going to take the nose off. That's just going to be the choice. And yes, he took the nose off. As we all do. Eating the same jelly beans from that first
I was kind of grossed out by
episode.
this one. I don't know. I do not like the
maybe that's
the
good.
sticky
Maybe it teaches
goes back
the
to my
kids.
sticky hands thing where I'm like, I don't even just seeing it. I'm like, ugh. He was
Listen,
literally glued to the beanbag, folks. Like he literally was.
Yeah.
I did like that detail. I did think that was funny though. But just like he walks up, it's like vines are just sticking to it. Ugh.
Yeah.
But But I have the question though with this.
Sorry, go on.
Did Vin Diesel do the sniffing noises?
That would be funny if he did, but I guarantee it was a Foley artist that did it. The one intern they have that's like, make all the group episode sound effects, including the poop. Go into the restroom with the mic, with your lav mic on.
I don't know. I mean, maybe Vin Diesel's trying to be really authentic with this, and he's like, no, I'm really going to get in
I
character.
would love if there's some interview aside with Kirsten Lepore where she's like, Vin Diesel made the sniffing noises, and we used the first take. It was beautiful. I would love to be
spot on.
treating it like it's I don't know, it's a Tarantino film or something like that. That I feel like might be my favorite of the 5 episodes just because it felt relatable. Sometimes you just want to be goblin mode and you just decide that's fine. You know what I mean? What does Groot have to prove?
We'll go through them all, and I'll stay with one of my favorite. But
Okay.
I have one that I really liked. I'm gonna say this one. I think we'll do we're not gonna rank them on a separate spreadsheet or anything, but I have kind of a loose how I put them. But this one I was kind of fine with because I did like some of the bits, but it just felt kind of getting, even for 2.5 minutes, it started getting a little long. I was like, okay, I get it. He's has his nose, he's smelling all the things. So
Yep. And hey, maybe
he should have made him do a line or something though. He should have made him just do hard cocaine.
Line of cocaine.
Yeah,
well,
that should have been a scene.
Some people call cocaine snow or powder. 3rd episode's called Groot's Snow Day. In this episode, Groot goes outside and touches snow and makes a snowman, and the snowman comes to life, and he blows the snowman up. Now, I shouldn't get mad at this. And I'm not mad. I'm already over it.
He's tilted.
Where is everyone else? They parked there. Where are they?
They're on They're on their strike right now.
Exactly. They're at the SAG-AFTRA strikes, and Groot isn't real, so he can hang around. They already wrote his line anyway.
He's not a union card holding member.
Yeah. No, literally, it's just a gag about the snowman coming to life because he threw robot parts in there, and.
I want to say the visuals though. reminded me of like the one of those films with the like Rudolph and all of them. Like had a very like similar texture to it, and I feel
the
like
Rankin
I just really
and Bass. Remember we did a holiday special. Where
Yeah.
I had you do a quiz on them.
Yeah, and I don't know
like
jack
them.
shit. I do like them too. I just don't know jack shit about them or how they who did what. No, I felt like out of all of the, I felt with all of these, this one, I guess spoilers, this was my favorite one, because of I feel like it was most visually well done one, even though it's pretty flat and whatnot. But just like the textures of the snow, Groot's snowsuit just looked so well, like the lighting on it just made it look so like just like a snowsuit does, but like in a in those kind of stop motion look to it. Like just it reminded me of that. And Snowman with the same thing, where it just gave me that vibe, and I was like, oh, this is good compared to the other ones where it's fine. It's for a small budget thing, sure, but this one actually felt
When
like
there's
I'm like,
less
no.
things to render, it can overall look better.
Yeah,
because you don't see poorly rendered things.
And I did just like the snowman monster robot thing.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing.
And
spoilers.
it's simple. It's simple.
Overall, I find these episodes extremely boring, and they're not for us. They're not for me.
Yeah.
You know
I liked this one. I was like, this one I feel like is more memorable than I don't remember any of the other ones from the last season. I feel like this one I'm gonna remember because it was so straightforward.
I remember the group of little tiny guys, but that's because that was in the trailers that I watched like twice. So I technically saw. Anyway, the fourth episode, Groot's Sweet Treat. He sees an ice cream truck-esque spaceship, according to Wikipedia. Sorry, I'm looking at the synopsises because spoilers. It's so simple yet so forgettable. And he's looking for money. There's a chocolate gold coin. Shout out to the last episode of Sonic Movie Show. There's that gag there. The credits are like coins, and
Yeah. It was a fantastic bit. You had to be there.
It was great. I will say this. I did enjoy the fact that he basically Star Wars episode 8'd through the spaceship by flying through it, and gets how he got his ice cream.
I think that's a crime, what he did, though.
Yes. He's also so underage, you can't be tried for it. His parents would be.
See, that's smart. If you're going to do crime, folks, make sure you're under the age of 10.
3-year-old baby does it. Well, it's like when you ever see the news stories of this little girl really wanted to go to McDonald's, so she got in the Ford pickup truck and drove there and caused so many accidents and violations, but she wanted her nugs.
Yeah. No, I think this one was fine. It kind of felt in the same category for me as the Noses Around, where they have one idea and they just try to see how long they can do the bit for. It was he can't find the coin. Oh no, it's a fake coin. Oh, now there's the coin. Then he finally gets the coin. Oh no, the thing left. But I guess I'll give him credit for at least just I didn't think he was gonna blow it up at the end.
Yeah,
that guy's business is gone. And
yeah. You know what? We'll just say there were robots running it. It was a drone.
It's just
ship.
it is.
No
hey, I don't care. I just feel like he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful.
You're one of those guys that doesn't watch movies where people get hurt because you're sad.
Yeah, right. He's right.
I just made that up. I didn't mean to disparage you. Please don't sue me for libel.
Fake news, folks.
The 5th and last episode of Season 2 of I Am Groot is called Groot and the Great Prophecy. This one has a very special guest. Fuck, I forgot the actor's name. No.
The Watcher.
Yeah, and the Watcher is played by Jeffrey Wright.
Okay. Yes.
I recognize that
too
voice.
Bad.
And then he pops up in the credits.
It's too bad this is the worst one.
Yes. Talk about an episode that goes on too long. Who gives a shit? Also, yeah, I get it. What If was a Marvel show. I watched that first episode, and I'm like, hey, the animation sucks. And that was actually the beginning of my, hey, I don't need to watch all of these. And now I haven't seen any since.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this is the most recent Marvel thing I've watched in the last 6 months.
I didn't see Ant-Man. I didn't see Black Panther. I don't know. If
I saw Black Panther. That was the last thing. I haven't watched anything since Black Panther, I don't think. Maybe Moon Knight I finished? I don't remember.
I would have loved to watch Secret Invasion because I like spy thrillers, but there was the AI shit at the thing, and I'm like, nah, you don't get my
and I heard it sucked anyway, so...
I didn't hear anyone say anything nice about it, besides the people that are already in too deep. Like, content creators that are based around it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're already in too deep, you know?
Yeah.
But
They can't do it.
Yeah, it's a metaphor about joy and happiness is the whole thing, but it's, he's got to find the seed and he's just having fun and what's he doing, blah blah blah, and
the narration was just too much narration that like I don't even know if they said at some points because it was just happening too quick. But maybe it's because I'm not a child and it doesn't matter.
But here's the thing.
Kids
people will be like,
this
is a movie for little kids. This is a book for babies. This is a blah, blah, blah. That does not mean that it can't also be written well enough to be enjoyed by an adult, nor does that mean that children don't deserve things that are written for a higher age than them that they can maybe learn.
My thing I was going to say is that
and,
is that maybe it's just my brain can't process.
Like this was written for 2-year-olds.
But my brain can't process everything he said because I'm getting old and my attention span is losing.
You haven't been a part of the skibbity dibbity toilet wars, so you don't know what the hell's going on.
I have seen some of the clips
I work
of those,
with
and I'm like,
kids now at my new job, and a number of times I've heard someone shout "skibbity toilet." Is insane to me. Like, one kid had a stuffed animal of a toilet with a man's head in it.
At least it's not like a racist like let's
I'd
play
rather have
person.
them be shouting meat spin than this.
That was our generation.
That was our generation, yeah.
That was our skibidoo-doo-dop or whatever the fuck it's
our
called.
Scooby-Doo toilet. Anyway, this was the weakest of the 5 episodes, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, this one... maybe it's also the last one. Maybe I was tired of it, but I was like, yeah, this one
in the
sucks.
20 minutes I spent watching all 5 of these, I finally got tired and bored by the 19th minute mark. No, you're right, though. You're right. You are not wrong.
It really felt like shit. We needed to do 5. This is what we got, folks.
And I bet they were like, because it opens with the what if stuff. Again, I watched one of them. I know it opens with the Watcher talking about what if this happens type of shit. And I don't know if Jeffrey Wright was the Watcher in What If either. Maybe that's a big not. But I guarantee they're like, hey, season 2, I Am Groot, guys, it's not a part of the MCU in the sense of like nothing here matters, which is good, in my opinion, but not in the ways that actually is what I mean.
Could you imagine though if there was one episode
there's
and this
an
is
Infinity
like,
Stone or some bullshit in here.
Yeah,
this
like,
is how Ant-Man finds his butt plug from space, and which is a big MacGuffin, or they bring someone back from the dead in this. They're like, this doesn't matter, but like we want to make sure this gets buzz and pop from the usual suspects of fools. This is their thoughts, not mine. Content creators that love Marvel stuff, I am happy you find joy in this. When I do a podcast about Sonic the Hedgehog, so I understand.
Vin Diesel.
Like, we need to have
literally what we're doing right now. While we're even here.
Damn it. Also, just randomly thought out. I was bashing generative AI shit. This was written. Everything you see behind us is written by that. So, whatever. It's a tool to be assholes. They were 100% right. Or correct, or 100%. I am right that they 100% did this. I think that they were like, we need to have one of these episodes have some sort of nod that the Marvel fanboys are going to be like, whoa, did you see the Watcher was, you know what I mean? That's, who gives a shit?
The Winter Soldier. I would have loved if like the Groot gives Winter Soldier his arm back. We really need that kind of deep cut. You know what I mean? I
just, Spider-Man 2.
Groot killed JFK, actually. That's one
awesome.
episode.
It has that weird, how the head and, and this and that is because he was a seed and he sprouted in his head. That's like,
oh my fucking God. That's so fucking dark.
I just want to throw this out here. Spider-Man 2, the video game, came out. I've been playing that a lot, more than anything else recently.
They killed JFK in that.
And I haven't finished it. But I remember from the first Spider-Man game and the Miles Morales game, and even this one now too, from what I've basically been hearing, there's Avengers Tower in Manhattan. Doctor Strange's little hut is somewhere in there as well. But like these characters aren't in it, and it is weird that they're not even referenced. And he's been Spider-Man for a decade. And by the time Spider-Man 2 is around in the game, I think it's been a decade. The launch trailer says he's 25, and he was been doing it since he was in high school. It's okay to just have things be on their own. You can acknowledge that there are other Marvel stuff happening, but none of it matters. Someone on Twitter pointed out in like Spider-Man Web of Shadows, the video game for I think it was an early PS3 and 360 game. There's a bit where he's calling other Marvel heroes for help, and they're all going to voicemail because no one likes Spider-Man. And that's funny. You know what I mean? I don't know really where I was going with that in relation to the MCU, but this not being connected to anything else is good. It's just this also is just not important. So, it doesn't really satisfy my itch for my complaints. Anyway.
Agreed. Yeah.
September 6th, so a month later, we were reviewing this, month and a half later. I have not heard really any buzz about it because, again, who cares? This is meant for 2-year-olds, not 28-year-olds. 2 plus 28 is 30. We become old at that mark. We've given our opinion or our thoughts, but like, I'm sure we both probably think this is less memorable than the first season. I mean, recency bias.
I don't know. I don't remember the first one either. So like, I can't really.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it's just more of
to
the
me.
same.
This is more of a why do this? When the other one was like, oh, that's a neat idea. Oh, it'd be
the
cool,
only positive really I have is like I did kind of like Groot Snow Day. I thought that one was cute. Other than that, like length. I'm like, I really like their length.
Yes. Also, last time we had the Rocket Raccoon little cameo. It's not a cameo. He lives there. In that first season. But when they do it again where he says, "Ow," or whatever, I'm like, no, stop. You don't get to do this twice. We don't care anymore. Like I said earlier, if you're going to do a season 3, don't. But if you do, put it next to a Vin Diesel movie so we don't have to spend an entire episode. Yeah. Buddy, it's been 55 minutes since I hit record. Grant, I'm going to lop off maybe, 3 minutes at the beginning there. But, it's been...
I'm proud
watched
of us.
Almost an hour of us talk about 19
You could have watched the
3 times.
All of them. 3 times, yeah, for sure. 10 times maybe. I don't know how the math works, but it's possible.
And we're gonna keep recording too, so you might as well hit repeat on that button. Overall, this sucked. It's not meant for us.
It's not meant for us. I guess it's just at best fine. Like I'm kind of like, yeah. Now I wish I had a child to hear who could tell me if they liked it, and maybe I'd be like, okay, I see your reasonings. Thanks, child. And then that'd be it. But for us, yeah, I feel like it's just more of the same.
Yeah.
Granted, I'd rather, since it's so short, I think it helps, but I'd rather watch this over some of the stuff we've watched for this thing.
I don't know. I think the worst things are more interesting than watching this milquetoast. Let's actually pull up while we're here discussing.
I was going to say, I think we're leaning towards that already.
Let's pull up the Vin Diesel ranking.
Pull up.
I guess I will read this again, folks. We are a visual
hit
podcast
a lot of rest
on YouTube, but I also started a cold, Devin. I got shit in my nose. YouTube.com/@SonicMovieShow. You can watch this episode live, not live. You can watch it on YouTube. It's a visual thing. Watch it because we have visuals, the ranking things. I'm going to be reading off a list of 47 things twice, and we're going to put this in there, once on each list. We have 2 rankings here. The movie ranking, it's basically the product as a whole. I just said product, and I meant like art. And a Vin Diesel performance ranking list. So one does not necessarily mean it's an equal spot on the other. Mm-hmm. For the movie ranking list, I'll read the whole thing off, then we'll just say where we think it belongs. I think we've discussed enough what we think about this collection of short stories. Ironically, Groot is amongst the 3 highest ranking movie rankings on our movie ranking list. Number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 4, Fast X. Number 5, Saving Private Ryan. Number 6, Fast 5. Number 7, Avengers Endgame. Number 8, Avengers Infinity War. Number 9, The Fate of the Furious. Number 10, Fast and Furious 6. Number 11, Furious 7. 12, Triple X. 13, The Fast and the Furious. 14, Triple X, Return of Xander Cage. 15, F9, The Fast Saga. 16, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Wow, we watched that. 17, The Iron Giant. 18, Riddick. 19, Awakenings. 20, Fast and Furious. 21, Bloodshot. 22, A Man Apart. 23, Find Me Guilty. 24, Boiler Room. 25, The Chronicles of Riddick. 26, Thor Love and Thunder. 27, Pitch Black. 28, The Last Witch Hunter. 29, The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. 30, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. 31, Diesel. 32, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. I have a 60 gigabyte version of that video on my computer that's at 60 frames a second, and I watched the action scenes of that. It's weird, I would like to watch a war movie that's shot at 60 frames a second. It looked really cool.
You want to be really close to war in real life?
I would send it to you, but it's 60 gigabytes, and I don't think you want it. 33, Knockaround Guys. 34, Fast and Furious Crossroads. 35, Wheelman. 36, The Pacifier. 37, Babylon AD. 38, Los Bandoleros. 39, I Am Groot. 40, The Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena. 41, The Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. 42, Multifacial. 43, The Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury. 44, Strays. 45, Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth, See You Again. 46, Fast and Furious Supercharged. And 47, Riddick Blindsided.
Can I just say that, like,
Say it.
when you're reading it, how I, like, visualize it in my head at this point is I think of, like, whatever Vin Diesel's character is. And for some reason, I'm starting to do, like, that kind of multiverse thing where, like, I'm imagining they're all, like, coming out of that portal, like, in the end game. And it's just, like, the Pacifier Vin Diesel, Babylon AD Vin Diesel, Los Bandoleros Vin Diesel, then a fucking tree.
I just see, like, images.
Then Wiz Khalifa.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think this is lower than the first I Am Groot. Just because I don't care at this point. And I want to be spicy and put it under the Riddick games.
I did not have fun with it. I had fun playing it with you, but the games themselves aren't fun, if that makes sense.
I would put this at 48 if you let me. So, I don't know. At this point, you tell me where you want it.
I mean...
He's thinking, folks.
I think I'd rather watch the Fast and Furious as my... Once again, get to it. Fast and Furious, Supercharged. I think I'd rather watch that again. And it was even as, you know, I liked the one Snowman one. We're grading as a whole for this. So...
Right.
And the other ones take it. If we were grading each episode...
You might mildly enjoyed 1/5 of this.
Yeah. Fast and Furious Supercharged is pretty bad. But it's also like, we haven't did the ride, to be fair. One of these days, maybe we will.
Isn't it gone? I don't know.
Maybe it's gone, folks. I don't know. But I kind of would rather watch that YouTube video because at least it'd be funny in a way. You know what I mean? Like,
what about a music video?
I mean, the song kind of slaps, so like...
Okay.
But visually, it's as a movie, it's not great. Because it's just
so what you're saying
your
is
classic
this is
2010s
underneath
music video.
the Supercharged video we just watched.
That's what I'm leaning towards.
So Riddick Blindsided, which was essentially an animated comic book.
That was just bad. It was storyboard animated, and it wasn't good either. And we watched that before we watched the movie, which didn't help. But
yeah, where are you putting this little fucker?
I think it's above that because I don't think it's well made at some points. When 1/5 I liked. For Riddick Blindsided, I did not like anything.
Okay.
And then for Fast and Furious Supercharged, I did find it kind of weirdly funny.
God, this makes it so
exists.
much easier because I have to make the graphics for um
You just have to move
rankings,
one down.
and I just have to move one. At least for this list. Next up, folks, we have Vin Diesel's performance ranking. This does not necessarily mean that the movie or game or music video or YouTube video, Vin Diesel is a YouTube video, itself is really good. It's just about his performance within that. Does he carry it? Is he the lead? Are there expectations he meets, exceeds, or fails to set?
Sometimes he does his own stunts.
Yeah. He did all the walking in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was a car. Vin Diesel's performance ranking is as follows. I'm going to take a drink here.
He was a car. Think of fucking Cars. I would love to see Vin Diesel in the next Cars installment.
You know they're going to do one of those. I want Owen Wilson to just be able to survive the rest of his life and his kids the rest of their lives because he was in one Pixar movie 3 times. You know what I mean?
We need another Cars movie. I haven't even seen the most recent one, but
the third one,
we need another one.
The third one is that oh man, I've seen people describe it as an anti-millennial film. I don't necessarily see it that much. It is that I'm old and I need to retire, but I don't want to. I want to be in the game. I don't want my life to end type of thing. And this new rookie comes up and I decide I want to train her to replace me. And that brings me joy. That's what that movie is. But there was a lot of they're complaining and they don't have what we used to have type of energy to it, which is a little lame.
We fought in
fucking Cars. Cars 3, Driven to Win. One of the very last Wii U physical games. So it has been on my collections to collect list, ironically enough. Vin Diesel's performance ranking is as follows. Number 1, Triple X. Number 2, The Fast and the Furious. Number 3, Triple X Return of Xander Cage. Can I stop here right for 1 second? Triple X, you remember he wears that big poofy jacket?
Yeah.
Okay, so, about a month ago, I started up a video game called Cyberpunk 2077, and straight male romanceable character that you can have looks like that, but like pretty boy. Like he's got earrings, you know what I mean, and he's an extremely caring boyfriend.
In the Barbie movie, Ryan Gosling's Ken at one point has kind of a similar kind of jacket going on too. It's hot. It slaps.
I just mean that this guy looked like if Vin Diesel was the caring boyfriend.
It's an homage.
Yeah, maybe. I also hated that guy. He was the only one of the romanceable characters that comes onto you and not the other way around, and that made me turn off. I was like, nope, sorry.
So you want to be the chasing. Interesting.
Well, I just find it weird that in his scenes, you have to meet his family, and the kids are like, he really likes you. Who likes him? Raise your hand. And you have to have the awkward, I raise or I don't. And, and all the other ones, it's an option. Do you come onto them or not? I didn't like the fact that he came, and he's the most boring person of those 4. Number 4, Fast X. Number 5, Fast and Furious. Number 6, I platinumed Cyberpunk 2077, so I'm an expert on the subject. Number 7, Fast and Furious 6. Number 8, Riddick. Number 9, Furious 7. 10, A Man Apart. Kind of looks like that in this movie, too. 11, Fast 5. 12, The Last Witch Hunter. 13, F9, The Fast Saga. 14, Bloodshot. 15, The Pacifier. We're coming through the portals, Devin. 16, The Chronicles of Riddick. 17, Babylon AD. 18, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk at 60 frames per second. 19, Los Bandoleros. 20, The Fate of the Furious. 21, Guardians of the Galaxy. 22, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Come 3 trees.
23, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 at different ages in life. 24, Boiler Room. 25, Multifacial. 26, Pitch Black. 27, Knockaround Guys. 28, Strays. 29, The Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury. 30, The Iron Giant. 31, Saving Private Ryan. 32, Vin Diesel. 33, The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. 34, I Am Groot. 35, Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Here
a
comes a
delisted
polygon
video game.
version.
Yeah.
Polygon Vin
36
Diesel.
with poor lighting. 36, Avengers Infinity War. 37, The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. 38, The Chronicles of Riddick Assault on Dark Athena.
More polygons.
Wheelman. Less polygon. 40, The Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay. People say this game is a classic on the original Xbox, so I feel like if we were Xbox fans as kids, we might have had a better appreciation for this game, even not having played it until, when we reviewed it. 41, Thor Love and Thunder. That's my kind of point on the matter. 42, Ralph Breaks the Internet. 43, Avengers Endgame. 44, Riddick Blindsided. 45, Fast and Furious Supercharged. 46, Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth, See You Again. And 47, Awakenings. Now, folks, there's a YouTube version. You can see this list. I'm sorry Devin interrupted me too much. I will point out here. I feel like a movie where he says nothing might be a better performance.
No, it's
than
not.
This one.
No, we're not putting it.
I want something to be under Awakening.
It won't. There's nothing. The only way he can do that is if he said something like terribly racist in a film and it wasn't for a character, like a documentary where he's like, "Yeah, the reason I did this in these movies is because," and then says something really fucked up. Like that's the only way I feel like it could be below that. So don't do that, please. But that's my logic with it. Like you can't ever even if it's Wiz Khalifa featuring, he's not even in it. I don't remember. I think I remember.
It's scenes from other movies, but he's credited. That's why we watched it. He's credited. It should it should just say property of Universal, footage courtesy of Universal.
He's not the reason these are bad. So I think we just put it below I Am Groot and call it a day. I Am Groot season 2 right there.
Because Wheelman
isn't good.
Oh, fine,
that's
fine.
That's one of the real stinkers for him, unfortunately.
God, that game was fucking awesome.
Because he was.
Dude, we should stream that again.
That was fun.
I have it still. You know what I mean?
Except when we did it for 8 hours. After the 7th hour mark, I was like,
we committed to doing it all in one session, and that's what sucked.
Yeah.
We enjoyed those side missions. I Am Groot Season 2 is number 35. It sits below I Am Groot, which was 34, and above Fast and Furious Crossroads, a delisted video game published by Bandai Namco, nonetheless. Well,
I can't believe he rode that rocket.
That's right. He didn't ride it. He surfed it.
There's
if
no
we
fucking
combine,
way.
if we
the speed you're going, there's no fucking way. I love it.
Hey Siri. What's 47 plus... Siri.
48 plus
40. What's
48?
47 plus 35? Well, as you can see, folks, on the right-hand side of the screen, we have a overall ranking where we add two numbers together. I Am Groot Season 2 gets an 82. Now, granted, a few of these lower ones also got added by 1 or maybe 2. So, but, it's essentially worse than I Am Groot.
It's for any baseball heads, it's like slugging plus on-base percentage. It's the equivalent of the two it's the equivalent of the two rankings into one. To see if this is, to me, like this list says like what is the best movie to watch where Vin Diesel is the reason it's good.
Yeah.
I'm
just might as well just start adding these together. Let's see. This also went up by 1. Escape from Butcher Bay went up by 1. Soul and Dark Athena went up by 1.
It's too much, man.
Wheelman went up by 1.
Somebody needs to make a bot to do it for us.
Thor Love and Thunder went up by 1. Let's see. Crossroads went up by 1. Infinity War went up by 1.
It's still crazy to me that like Fast X got the best one. Like when we were first looking at it, I was like, oh, it's gonna be Triple X.
Yeah, because it's in 4th place in both lists. Yeah.
So Fast X
put this above the holiday special. I
don't know. I mean, it's just how
Ralph?
this algorithm worked here.
Avengers Endgame went up by 1. Hey, Devin.
Yeah.
Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
We just spent and are continuing to spend a good chunk of time managing the spreadsheet involving a ranked list of every Vin Diesel thing ever. Do we want to do a special episode in the future where we turn this list into tiers?
That's a good idea. I did also have an idea that I wrote down and haven't sent it to you yet. Okay. But here's my pitch, and so people can see behind the curtain a little bit. You know, this is how we sometimes pitch ideas. Is one of us will say something, and then we'll be like, wow, yeah, or then they build off of it, something like that, right? Here's my idea. This is what it's called. Chronicles of Diesel plot twists. You know, like it's a kind of a pun, right? So like the term plot twist usually means, there's a twist in the plot in the movie, right? Plot twist, I'm saying, is like we get 2 movies on our list that are polar opposites, and we pitch a movie where we combined them. Either the 2 Vin Diesel characters meet, or we have to create a whole new movie. It could be and we call them Chronicle Diesel plot twists, where we get, let's say, Triple X, Vin Diesel's Triple X character, or a theme from we want skateboarding in it, and then we combine it with like Pitch Black. What would that look like? How would we do that? And then we're basically pitching it to Vin Diesel himself.
Oh, we're gonna title this video at Vin Diesel. Please respond.
And we'll tag him on Twitter and be like, hey, listen to this full episode for our full pitch. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, just an idea.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. So that's an idea too. You know. Will we remember? I don't know. That's why I'm going to send it over a text message or over a Discord
Well,
message.
I mean, we're not going to do another one of these episodes anytime soon, that's for sure.
Right.
We're going to give it some time to breathe. In fact, you're watching this episode instead of a Sonic Movie Show episode. So,
wow,
that's
fans
how
hate us
little
right
we
now.
want to work. I know.
Yep.
Anyway, folks, I would like to thank you for sitting here for almost an hour and a half of I Am Groot Season 2. As I mentioned
people who first
earlier,
click on, they're like, how the fuck are these people? Are they analyzing every frame?
Yeah, we talked about Minnesota? I don't know. No, that was before we recorded. We talked before recording about shit too. So we've been sitting here for longer. And we're wearing the same clothes as another episode of Sonic Movie Show. So we sat here for even earlier. I got to go to sleep soon to get up at 5. Hey, we're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, etc. at Sonic Movie Show. I'm on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely. Devin's on Twitter. I tapped myself. Devin's on Twitter at CursonaFun. In the comments below this YouTube video, which you watched the entirety of, that's how you're able to hear my instruction, please do me a solid. Please tweet at Vin Diesel this episode's link and say, look at these idiots, they reviewed your season 2 of Groot. No, just let us know what you think about Vin Diesel's like future plans. You know, we know there's a Furia movie.
What do you want?
We know there's a Triple X4 movie. You know, at least these are,
or do you want an original IP?
Doing.
He hasn't done an original IP in a minute.
There's no more Groot.
He's dead.
Put him in the dirt. There's potentially going to be no more Dom. In the next 5 years, they'll probably be gone. You know what I mean? Assuming that these other, like the Riddicks and all of these, just kind of like stay where they're at. This is my instructions for you. Write down an original fiction franchise, plot that you think Vin Diesel would be a good actor for the lead. My point being is that don't just take like a book and say Vin Diesel's going to play this character. Describe the type of fiction, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever movie that you think he would make a good lead for.
And then we'll steal it and do an episode about it.
Yes. Goodbye.
What is it with you? What do you got, a death wish or something?
That's what it takes. I just want to race. Ride or die, remember?